Hey guys, this is Stephen Malin, music composer. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's beautiful weather over here in Atlanta, Georgia. Gorgeous day outside, so I figured I'd take a little walk around. And today I was having a pretty cool conversation with another composer about creating products. Now, we've been having this ongoing conversation as a group and on YouTube about this idea of creating products and how products are truly the most important resource for you as a composer for creating a long-term sustainable business, because products are the one thing in your life that you can control, because you can create them at any time of day, any time of year, and you can just pump a little bit of time in a day, or you can pump out an entire work day. You can do it short term, long term, whatever, right? And the power of products is that you can also use analytics to track the buyers of your products and create a long-term system that allows for business growth. So I was chatting with a composer today about the idea of market research. This is a term we don't talk about enough as composers. And so I wanted to just kind of bring that topic up in relation to products, because so often young composers have this idea of, I'm going to create a product, I'm going to create a course, I'm going to create an ebook, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to create this website, I'm going to create a sample library, right? We come up with all these really cool ideas and we get really into it for a short period of time, maybe like a week or two, and we start creating, but there's, at the end of the day, not much use for that unless it solves a problem. If your product does not solve a problem, it's worthless. Now, it might be fun to create, but if you're trying to build a business, then you need to create products that actually solve problems. So this is where market research really comes into play. Market research doesn't have to be this big scary thing. I like to think of it as taking a large macro view of your market, of your target ideal client, the person who's going to buy the thing you're making, looking a broad stroke at what are their habits, what are their purchase history, what groups are they a part of, where do they hang out, what kind of people are they, what age are they male or female, what are their hobbies, their skills, their interests. You're just taking this macro view of who are the types of people that are going to buy the thing you're making, and you're looking at a sample size. If we're talking statistics, any of you who remember statistics courses from school, the sample size is supposed to be 1,000 or greater, 1,000 people or greater. So the challenge for most young composers as they're building their first product, whatever it may be, is they come up with this great idea, but they don't test it in the market. They just throw it out there, or worse, they spend months making something and then they get absolutely discouraged when it doesn't sell how they want it to. And the challenge behind this is that most young composers don't have a sample size large enough to pull from, right? I mean, it's easy if you have you might look at my career right now and say, oh, that's easy for Steven because he has a YouTube following of 7,000 subscribers. So that's way over 1,000. So he can just put out a video and people will respond to that and they'll comment, and there you go. You get a pretty solid sample size. But that's not always been the case for me. I started off with 0, like every single person. And I joked around a couple years ago when talking to folks about the first Udemy course that I created that many of you have taken. And I'm appreciative of that, and I hope you've learned from that. But that course, I didn't do any market research before I made it. I should have. I'm very grateful that it's done as well as it has. But that course, I only had an email list of maybe 50 people. So I only sent it out to 50 people, but it caught wind. And there are some strategies, of course, to market and to promote anything that you create, but you can't polish a turd, right? If you create content that's not good, there's nothing you can do about it to promote it better or whatever. So the purpose of this conversation is proper market research is pulling from your 1,000 plus sample size, getting the statistics you need to actually create the product that solves a problem. So in my case, at that time when I had 50 viewers or 50 subscribers, whatever, what I should have done, and what I encourage any of you to do, anyone that has less than 1,000 followers to pull from, use what is currently available to you. So what I mean by that is, if you're a music composer and you're trying to market to other music composers, let's say you're creating a sample library, you need to go find, the resources are endless on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, forums. You need to go find who are the current purchasers of sample library products that are similar to the ones you're making. So let's say I'm creating a brand new, unique, acoustic guitar library that no one's ever seen before. It's gonna be amazing, right? So I'm gonna go look at all of the other acoustic guitar sample libraries out there, because I doubt I'm the first one to do it. And let's say there's 5 other companies, right? We're gonna go look at their products, and then we're gonna go see who has purchased those. And there's plenty of ways to do that online, through social media. And what you do is you find those people, you find the groups, you find what have these people bought before, and you start to look around, okay, the people who buy this particular product, they all tend to be around age 25. They all tend to be men. They all tend to be graduates from college. They all tend to have music composition degrees. They all tend to also play video games, whatever. Like you can use these statistics to your advantage. And if you can find companies that have done this on a large scale, then you're gonna have a sample size way over 1,000. You're gonna have into the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. This is particularly useful on YouTube. So according to the conversation earlier today about creating courses, if you don't have a sample size to pull from about courses, something that you want to create, then you need to go find someone else that's already created a course that is similar to the one that you have already made or you're trying to make, and pull from those purchasers, because the best buyers are repeat buyers. These are people who have already bought the exact same thing that you are making, and these are people who are going to buy it again from you. Because you got to think about this. Competition is actually a very healthy thing, because people like to be, they like to experience, they like to purchase products that are similar, but slightly different. So if I'm someone who really needs, as a composer, I really need an acoustic guitar sample library, I'm probably gonna buy maybe 2 or 3 different libraries, you know? At the end of the day, I might compare between a few, but this one has this feature, this one has this feature, and I might end up buying multiple. So it's not a bad thing that you might be competing with some of these larger sample library companies. Or in the case of a course, it's not a bad thing that someone else has already made something on a very similar subject, because you're gonna bring your own unique spin to it. So the encouragement here today is to always market research before you start working on a product, because you want to save yourself hundreds of hours if the product ends up being a colossal failure, and you can significantly reduce the risk of creating a product that fails and turn it on upside down by creating a product that is extremely successful by just doing proper market research, pulling from people who have already bought similar products to what you are creating. So the reason this stuff matters is because I believe, as we've talked about before, I believe that your income as a music composer should comprise about 80% of products, because then you can have an autonomous, free lifestyle where you don't have to work all the time. You can work when you want to, as long as you want to, because you are simply using your time to create products. And then when the custom score gigs come in, you can work at those deadlines, but you're not trapped into that lifestyle that you don't want to be in. So hope this is encouraging for you guys. In the comments below, leave any questions you might have about market research and what that might look like, or if you guys have particular products that you are brainstorming, I'd love to hear about it. I know in the chat we'd love to kind of explore some of these ideas and maybe some best practices for how you can create products that solve problems and really help people. So nice chatting with you guys. Talk to you next time.